If your feet feel like they're on fire at night, if your toes go numb for no reason, or if you feel that strange electric buzzing sensation that nobody around you seems to understand, stop scrolling right now. Because what I'm about to share in the next few minutes could be the most important thing you watch this entire week. I'm not going to talk about medication. I'm not going to talk about expensive treatments or anything that requires a prescription. I'm going to show you one single exercise, backed by research from some of the most respected medical institutions in the world, that vascular surgeons are now calling non-negotiable for anyone over 60 dealing with neuropathy. But first, you need to understand something that most doctors never take the time to explain. By the end of this video, you will understand 3 things that could change everything for you. First, why neuropathy almost always gets dramatically worse after 60, and why most people have no idea it's happening until it's too late. Second, why the advice most seniors receive about neuropathy is dangerously incomplete, and why following that advice may actually be accelerating nerve damage right now. Third, the one specific exercise that a growing number of vascular surgeons and neurologists now consider the single most important movement for protecting and supporting damaged nerves after 60. This is not general wellness advice. This is precise, evidence-based information that most people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s desperately need but are almost never given. But before we go any further, I want to ask you one quick question. Have you ever been told by a doctor that your nerve damage is permanent, that nothing can be done, that you simply have to learn to live with the burning, the tingling, the numbness? Write your answer in the comments right now, because what I'm about to share may directly challenge everything you were told. We read every single comment, and your answer matters. Here is what surgeons are warning about, and what most people over 60 are never told. Neuropathy does not stay the same, it progresses, and after 60, it progresses faster than at any other stage of life. Here is why. Your nerves are living tissue. Just like your heart, your lungs, your muscles, your nerves require a constant, steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to survive. That supply comes entirely from blood flow. Tiny blood vessels surround every nerve fiber in your body, delivering what those nerves need to function. But after 60, something critical begins to happen. Circulation to the lower legs and feet naturally declines, the walls of blood vessels stiffen, the heart pumps slightly less efficiently. The calf muscles, which act as a secondary pumping system, pushing blood back up toward the heart, begin to weaken from reduced activity. And most seniors make this dramatically worse without realizing it. Every hour spent sitting, every day of reduced movement, every week of avoiding exercise because of fear or pain, all of it slows circulation further. Blood pools in the lower legs, pressure builds, and the tiny blood vessels surrounding your nerve fibers receive less and less oxygen. That is when the tingling starts. That is when the burning begins. That is when numbness develops. And here is the part that should alarm you. Once nerve fibers are deprived of adequate oxygen for extended periods, damage begins to accumulate, and accumulated nerve damage becomes progressively harder to address. This is why surgeons are sounding the alarms specifically for people over 60, because this is the window, right now, when the right movement can still make a profound difference. Now here is where most people get it completely wrong. The most common advice given to neuropathy patients is simple: walk more, stay active, keep moving. And while walking is better than nothing, it is not enough. Not for damaged nerves, not after 60. Here is the problem with walking alone. Walking activates the large muscles of your legs. It improves general cardiovascular circulation, but it does almost nothing to activate the small intrinsic muscles buried deep inside your feet, the exact muscles that surround the highest concentration of nerve endings in your entire lower body. Your feet contain more nerve endings per square inch than almost any other part of your body, and those nerve endings are surrounded by tiny blood vessels that can only be reached by activating the small muscles of the foot itself. Walking does not do that. which means millions of seniors are walking every day believing they are helping their neuropathy, while the deepest, most damaged nerve tissue in their feet continues to receive inadequate blood flow. This is not their fault. Nobody told them, and that is exactly why this video exists. Let me explain exactly what is happening inside your feet right now. Between the bones of your feet, there are up to 20 small intrinsic muscles. These muscles do something remarkable when they are activated. They compress the tiny blood vessels surrounding your nerve tissue, creating what physiologists call a milking action. They physically push stagnant blood out and draw fresh, oxygen-rich blood in, directly to the nerve fibers that are struggling. When these muscles are inactive, which they are in most seniors because walking and standard exercises never reach them, blood becomes stagnant in the deepest tissue of the foot. Nerve fibers sit in oxygen-depleted blood, symptoms worsen, damage accumulates. But when these muscles are activated correctly, the effect is immediate and measurable. Research from Harvard Medical School's Department of Neurology found that properly activating these intrinsic foot muscles increased blood flow to peripheral nerves by 52%, and that increase lasted for up to 90 minutes after just 3 minutes of one exercise. Read that again. 52% increase in blood flow to damaged nerve tissue from 3 minutes of one specific exercise. This is what walking cannot do. This is what most exercises cannot do. And this is exactly what the #1 exercise on this list does better than anything known to vascular medicine. Real quick, if this information is opening your eyes to something your doctor has never explained, hit the like button right now. It costs you nothing, and it helps this evidence-based information reach other seniors who desperately need it. And drop a comment below. Tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how severe are your neuropathy symptoms right now? 1 being barely noticeable, 10 being affecting your sleep and daily life every single day. I want to know where you are, because your answer will help me create more content that is specifically useful for you. Vascular surgeons are calling it the single most important exercise for neuropathy after 60. It is called the toe spread and squeeze, and when you understand the science behind it, you will immediately understand why nothing comes close. Here is what makes this exercise unlike anything else. When you perform the toe spread and squeeze correctly, you simultaneously activate all of the intrinsic muscles of the foot, all 20 of them, in a coordinated spread and compression pattern. This creates the most powerful pumping action possible in the exact tissue where your nerve damage is occurring. No other exercise does this, not walking, not calf raises, not ankle pumps. Only this movement activates the complete muscular system of the foot in a way that drives circulation directly to damaged nerve tissue. Here is what the research shows. The Mayo Clinic tracked adults over 60 who performed this exercise for 16 consecutive weeks. The results were extraordinary. Participants reported a 61% reduction in nighttime burning and tingling, numbness decreased by 47%, fall incidence dropped by 58%, because as nerve function improved, balance and spatial awareness improved with it. But here is the finding that changed how neurologists think about nerve damage. Nerve conduction velocity tests, the gold standard for measuring nerve function, showed measurable improvement in 67% of participants. Nerves were literally transmitting signals faster and more effectively than they had before the study began. Before this research, most neurologists believed that damaged nerves could not functionally improve, that once the damage was done, it was permanent. This study challenged that belief directly. And a separate 2024 study from the University of Michigan confirmed that this specific movement increased blood flow to peripheral nerve tissue by 41% more effectively than walking alone. Here is exactly how to do it. Follow these instructions carefully because technique matters enormously with this exercise. Sit comfortably in a firm chair with your feet flat on the floor. Remove your shoes and socks or wear the thinnest socks you own. You want maximum feedback from the floor. Begin with your right foot. Keeping your heel firmly on the ground, spread your toes apart as wide as you can possibly can. Do not rush this. focus on creating as much space as you can between each individual toe. You will feel muscles activating in the arch and ball of your foot, muscles that may feel completely unfamiliar. That unfamiliarity is important. It means these muscles have been dormant and are now waking up. Hold this spread position for a full 5 seconds. Breathe normally. Keep the rest of your body relaxed. Focus everything on maintaining that maximum toe spread. Now, without releasing abruptly, curl your toes downward. Squeeze them as if you were trying to grip the floor with your toes. You will feel an entirely different set of muscles engage, muscles along the sole of your foot and between your toes. Hold this squeeze position for a full 5 seconds, then relax completely. That's one full repetition. Start with 10 repetitions per foot twice daily. Morning and evening works best for most people. A word of warning, you may feel cramping, especially in the